community. So what makes you a good neighbor? What are your practices?
Well, you'd have to ask my neighbors if I'm a good neighbor. Can't really speak to that myself. But I think the things that I do that help me stay connected. I mean, I'm a pretty shy person, and so I feel like I have to work extra hard to be just to like open myself up. And so some of the ways that that works, one is literally like commuting on my bike. So that's one thing I just love to do it. It's Fresno. The climate is attuned to that. Maybe if you live in Chicago, that'd be a little harder. But like I feel like when you're on your bike, you're way more interruptible. So a lot of times when I have
Mm.
like just like off the cuff experiences with neighbors, it's because I was riding my bike and I saw something and I was able to see. Being on my bike is really nice because I just feel like I'm very connected. You can smell and hear like the stuff going around. I think that one kind of leads into a larger one, which is like making yourself interruptible in general. A lot of
Mm.
times I can say, well, I have office hours as a pastor, or like I'm going to choose to like walk the neighborhood these days. But unless you catch me on those times, like that's not going to be, it's not where most of life is happening. And so I think that just like being around and actually taking part in the life of the neighborhood. So like going to community events, just like taking part in them just as like a spectator, not in my official capacity, uh, the church or anything like that, is like a really fun because I get to run into people that I probably wouldn't. But then in regular life, being interruptible, like allowing yourself to get, thrown off by something coming up in the middle of the day where you're like, oh, this person needs help bringing this couch up into their apartment or something. Like those are magical times when God can really do some cool stuff because you're just we're so like task oriented sometimes that I think that we don't see what God is up to like in a moment that we would just say, well, I could be on my computer 15 minutes earlier and answering emails, and I'm like, well, I don't see God moving there. So I'm going to take a risk right now. Maybe I might have to take work home with me later, but like allowing my like pattern to be interrupted by someone is a huge cool thing. You really can't fabricate or sort of concoct those things yourself. You just have to like
Mm.
make yourself available and then be interruptible when the time comes. Like commit ahead of time to saying like I'm really like looking for where God is at work in any moment and then allowing yourself to actually say yes to some of those invitations